Sonic Adventure is a game I enjoy, and you know what it has a lot of? Levels. 32 of them in fact, all across the 6 campaigns of the game. I wanted to rank them all from worst to best, and so that's what we're doing today. Disclaimer here, I'm only talking about action stages, no hub worlds, boss fights or subgames, which include Twinkle Circuit, Knot Park, Sun Ruins, and Sky Chase. We good? Great, let's begin. Number 32, Ice Cap as Big. Wow, a big level. Who would have thought? Big as a whole is not fun because it has to do fishing instead of doing anything fun. But what makes Ice Cap worse than the 3 other levels he has is that you have the least amount of space to work with, making things even more awkward than they already are. Number 31, Hot Shelter as Big. This one has a small proportion of level where you're not fishing, which is cool I suppose, but once you move past that, it can be kinda tricky to find Froggy because his color melts with the water, which is kinda annoying. Number 30, Twinkle Park as Big, the easiest of the fishing stages, with plenty of space to see and not much to get annoyed by, except of course for Big's gameplay in and of itself. Number 29, Emerald Coast as Big. Props for having great music that you can't hear anywhere else in the game, and I find pretty charming how there's secret sections hidden if you look around, but other than that, it's just fishing, and woo, we're done with those already. Number 28, Hot Shelter as Amy. Having Zero on Amy's back all throughout her levels is a decent enough idea, but not when you execute it this way. You don't know pain until you have to do toddler difficulty puzzles with ridiculous hitboxes with the guy attacking you, and everything else in the level isn't nearly entertaining enough to make it anything more worthwhile. Number 27, Final Egg as Gamma. By far the easiest level in the game. It lasts like 30 seconds at most. Nothing to get upset with, but also nothing really noteworthy to say. Cool Tails doll reference, I guess. Number 26, Windy Valley Tails. Tails is really fun to control in this game, but when you make levels like these, it all kinda falls apart. You're barely required to touch the floor here, so most of the level is you waiting for Tails to fall. If you're gonna make a flying character, make vertical levels, not downward ones. Number 25, Emerald Coast as Gamma. Slightly more engaging than Final Egg, but that's not saying much. I like how you can wreck all the stuff that's normally decoration, and Gamma is inherently fun to play with, but really the level falls kinda flat. Number 24, Skydeck as Knuckles. Treasure hunting in this game is pretty easy, so I appreciate the attempt to make it more complex by making you think of the ship's position to open the doors, but the lever you use to change the ship's position takes forever to reach, making the level a bit of a slog. Number 23, Casinopolis as Sonic. A good idea on paper, rather average in execution. I like playing pinball, I enjoy the dumpster section all things considered, but I dislike the fact that I have to do both of those things more than once to get 500 rings. It just gets very repetitive and not fun by the end. Number 22, Castinopolis as Tails. Tails is literally just Sonic's section of the dumpster, and I said I enjoyed it there, and that sort of still stands. However, once again, Tails' abilities take away much of the fun of the stage, since the level doesn't do anything interesting with them. Number 21, Final Egg as Amy. The section with the RNG doors is terrible, but other than that, I'd say the level's fine. It's not overly long and it puts Amy's abilities to use, like with those lasers. You would think Zero would get more of a presence though, he's barely even a threat. Number 20, Twinkle Park as Amy. As far as Amy levels go, not too bad. It uses Zero in a simple but effective way, it has some nice aesthetic, and I'm somewhat fond of the mirror gimmick they threw in, even if at the end of the day, the level itself is nothing special. Number 19, Ice Cap as Tails. Again with the Sonic cuts, this is just Ice Cap, but without the platforming part. The snowboarding physics are kinda wonky, and the first section is a straight downhill with nothing to really do, but as soon as those ramps appear, the level gets actually really fun. Number 18, Windy Valley as Gamma. Unlike Gamma's previous levels, this one doesn't feel tasteless. It has a boss for a change, not a challenging one at that, but still, and the level does ask you to use Gamma's hover, which is nice since I like it. That's about all I can say, not groundbreaking, but satisfying. Number 17, Casinopolis as Knuckles. You play in a section that, with Sonic, feels like nothing but a lobby, but with Knuckles it ends up being super elaborate, with a lot of things to play around with, like this lion mouth thingy. It's true that the level is so small that you barely have to do any searching, but it's fairly enjoyable nonetheless. Number 16. Skydeck as Tails. Now this feels like a level more suited for Tails' abilities. Sonic isn't and will never be a challenge in these stages, but for what it's worth, I have a lot of fun flying from one part of the stage to the other with positively no floor below my feet. Sadly, the stage gets cut short. I think the sections of Skydeck that get skipped would work perfectly fine with Tails. Number 15. Lost World as Knuckles. Big enough to feel like a challenge to look for the emeralds, but not convoluted enough to be annoying like Skydeck. Just a methodical, traditional hunt for 3 emerald pieces. Nothing more, nothing less. Number 14. Windy Valley as Sonic. I am aware that the beta of this level is 100 times better. This one has a lot of linear hallways that make the game collapse at times, and it is by all means a downgrade. With all that said, I enjoy this level a lot. I like getting carried by the wind, escaping the tornado, blasting through the sky road. It's fun, and at the end of the day, that's all it matters. Number 13. Ice Cap as Sonic. The first section has you using rockets to traverse the stage, the second one is a more slower platforming section, and finally the snowboarding section we already discussed. All 3 work perfectly, though I think the spikes are somewhat lame because of how slow they are, but otherwise the level keeps itself entertaining all the way through, still not worthy of the Ice Cap name, that's for sure. Number 12. Red Mountain Gamma. The more Gamma's story progresses, the more interesting it gets, and Red Mountain is pretty interesting, with all the fire hazards and platforming sections that keep you on your toes, and again with an easy battle at the end to wrap it up. Just a clean, entertaining stage. Number 11. Speed Highway Knuckles. Yet again, playing this as Sonic feels like a completely normal platforming stage, but as Knuckles is where it truly shines. Despite being the first Knuckles level, it is pretty big, really selling the idea that you're gliding around a populated city, and it makes for a really solid hunt down. Number 10. Speed Highway as Tails. The level most akin to Tails' abilities. Huge stretches of level with no floor, where you can use Tails' flight and acceleration to blitz through. There is just something very nice about being able to see a skyscraper from the distance and actually get on top of it on the spot. Really nice stuff. Number 9. Skydeck as Sonic. I know this level is insanely glitchy and can barely hold in on itself, but bad programming isn't enough to ruin a great level. There are sections where you dodge missiles getting launched at you, then you get to run through a road full of mini airships, fight against the entire ship making insane degree turns. It really feels epic, like you're riding a moving ship from the outside and slowly but surely conquering it. Number 8. Hot Shelter as Gamma. Gamma's story can often feel like untapped potential, but this level is the one thing it gets incredibly right. It's very long, asks you to shoot dozens of targets, and actually threatens to make your time run out if you don't play well enough. On top of that, the boss in the end is a lot more complex than the others. Really solid stage. Number 7. Red Mountain as Knuckles. A level that really understands treasure hunting. Again, big enough to require effort, not big enough to be an exercise in frustration. If you play well, you can glide through the level easily and activate your radars, but the pieces themselves are hidden pretty well, often behind mountains or beneath the floor, making things really engaging. Number 6. Twinkle Park as Sonic. Okay, so from now on, it's just Sonic stages. It's the best campaign by 1.5 miles, and there's no point in pretending it isn't. I'm a big fan of this one. The car section at the start is nothing but silly fun, but the castle section is where the real fun begins. Tons of cool platforming sections, many gimmicks that ooze charm, and my favorite part, tons of skips to make. Just a blast all the way through. Number 5. Final Leg as Sonic. Another epic stage. The first section is a hazard room filled with all sorts of machines to ruin your day, then some tight platforming, and finally a quick run through hordes of enemies. While not the exhilarating final stage we'd see in other Sonic games, Final Egg stands incredibly well on its two legs, not feeling unfair but also providing a decent challenge. Number 4. Emerald Coast as Sonic. The absolute classic. Even with the dated graphics, just seeing the sands and waters of this level is incredibly nostalgic, and the level itself is just magnificent, with a great mix of platforming, speed and quirkiness, like how it uses slopes in many creative shapes and throws you a killing whale for you to outrun. Simply put, a level that doesn't waste your time and cuts straight to the fun. Number 3. Lost World as Sonic. An amazing ride condensed into one level, with some light puzzle solving, tons of Indiana Jones-like traps, and surprisingly tight platforming. The section with the mirrors is super cool, the part where you have to play around with the gravity is insane, and the waterfall is just neat. It's by far the longest stage in the game, and it never manages to become boring, which is really impressive. Number 2. Red Mountain as Sonic. Yet another near-perfect romp. The use of rockets to make branching paths is very nice. All the geysers and lava hazards add a lot of excitement to the level, and the sheer amount of things to jump into is incredible. Then you get inside the mines and you get a ton of platforming challenges and even more lava hazards. Red Mountain doesn't feel thrown together in minutes. It actually tries to be complex and feel organic, which is really appreciated. Number 1. Speed Highway as Sonic. I don't agree with every level pick made for Sonic Generations, but I certainly do for this one. A ton of ramps and slopes to speed through, many branching paths you can take by literally jumping out of a highway, you get to run on walls, down a building, ride helicopters all over town, and then you get a nice final section that, while simple and harmless, is also very elaborate, with a lot of high and low paths to take and cars to dodge. I love Speed Highway. It is my favorite level in any video game, and for that, I give it the deserved number 1 spot. So that's it for today. Hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you the next time.